Hey guys, what's going on? It's a Block Bull right about now, bringing you the latest episode to the channel. Now, today we will be discussing XRP, XLM, and also Onyx XCN coin as well. So there's a lot to get through today. Predominantly, we will be looking at charts, but to start off with, we do have this circulating XRP video that was, Brad Garlinghouse airing on Fox Business. So we're just going to watch that 28-second clip, and then we'll get over into the charts. Okay, guys. So let's just maximize this for ultimate viewing, guys. So here we go.
What is your price target for Bitcoin? Because Cardano blockchain founder predicted, as I said earlier, 250,000 by year end.
250K by the Cardano ADA founder. So I'm assuming that's Charles Hoskinson. He's the founder of Cardano. So he's saying 250K. Okay, so that is absolutely remarkable. And he's also suggesting that will be achieved by the end of year. Now, we're into June now, so we've literally got 6 months left before these blow-off tops start going in now. So despite the market being down now, you've got to remain upbeat. And you know what? We're in the trenches right now. People don't know if they're actually going to see a return on their investments this year with altcoins, okay? But certainly Bitcoin is going to continue rallying, which is what this video is stipulating. And then we will start going into altcoin season at some point, guys. I believe it will be from the 18th of June. However, let's continue to watch.
You know, I will predict Bitcoin. I wouldn't predict XRP. It's too close to home. But I think
Why won't he make a prediction on XRP? That's my first question.
200,000 is not unreasonable. I think before I've kind of said, 175 around there. I think people
175 is what Brad Garlinghouse is going with.
Underestimate how the largest economy in the world, the United States, went from headwinds, hostility, to tailwinds. And
what is your price?
Right there, just a short clip anyway. So Brad Garlinghouse is looking at about 175K Bitcoin. Okay, this guy's suggesting this is full of hogwash. The guy's actually reshared this video over on X. I'm not even putting his username in because he doesn't deserve any credit whatsoever because it's absolute BS what he's suggesting here. Brad Garlinghouse says Bitcoin will cross 200K. Well, he's not saying that, is he? He's looking at 175. In another interview, he said XRP will outperform Bitcoin. Yeah, it probably will do in terms of returning the investment. And then he goes on to say, so XRP going to more than 200K. Sorry? Right, this is what I mean. This is why I do. This is why I rarely cover XRP because they're just tapped in the head, mate. Tapped in the head, 200K XRP. Honestly, you're getting your wires crossed. Anyway, enough of that. Let's dive into the charts. And this is exactly why I don't watch anybody else's content now because I did that in the last cycle. And you know what? It failed miserably watching everyone else's content. All the technical analysis, I do my own now. I'm not 100% perfect. I'll hold my hands up. I get things wrong, but in the long term, I will be there or thereabouts in terms of the target, especially with like the XRP, the XDC plans that are no longer published just because I've had to move from Shopify over to WAP. Again, you guys can still join the Discord if you want to. That's over in the link down below in the description. But this is XRP now on the sort of 4 hourly. Let's go over to the daily. You guys can get a better sort of picture of what's going on. Now, for me, XRP is attempting a breakout again. You can see here we've had this sort of deviation sort of mid-May. And we didn't manage to sustain the run, and then we've come back into the wedge. We've had deviation to the downside. We've had a fake out down here. Now, for me, XRP is attempting another breakout to the upside. So this is bullish. You know, I do believe ultimately, despite the deviation either to the downside or to the upside, this is a bull pennant. Bull pennants statistically have over 60% chance probability of breaking to the upside. And you know what? I do believe this is going to go much higher, guys. Yeah, it's going to go much, much, much higher. And again, I am looking at double digits in a sort of medium to sort of long term. Long term, I've got higher sort of figures, okay, in mind. But ultimately, we have got the 18th of June, which is when the next Fed meeting is. And Fed meetings do dictate trends. It's just the way it goes, guys. Yeah, regardless of what fundamental analysis is coming out in terms of like the SEC or ETFs or like IPO rumors, etc., etc. Ultimately, all markets revolve around traditional fundamentals. So that's predominantly interest rates. It's what drives the banks. It's where all the money's made. You know, that's where all the hedge funds, smart money make all the decisions based on interest rates. It's as simple as that, guys. Having said that, it's unlikely we're going to see any rate cuts on the 18th of June. Now, that doesn't mean to say that we cannot get moving. I do believe this comes to an end, this particular apex, if we just draw in the, simple sort of trend lines that just highlights the sort of supply and demand, because that's all these markets are, guys, supply and demand levels. And there's more confluence that XRP is going to break out around the 18th of June, if it's not already at this point. As we move over to XLM, Stellar is also it's highly correlated with Ripple's XRP, and this is printing a bull flag. So we've not only got a bull pennant on XRP, we've now got a very correlated asset class, well, digital asset in XLM. The fact that we're now creating this sort of bull flag, this is looking epic, guys. So again, we've got the lower sort of supply and demand. You can see the wicks coming in, the volume, the closes, the supply and demand there. So this is where the sellers are, exhausted, and this is where the bulls are stepping in along these trend lines. And exactly the same here. For me, I believe XLM now is flirting with this, so there's going to have to be a decision to move. This price is going to move away from this sort of area of interest for me. And the fact, again, this is a bull flag. So bull flags statistically have a slightly increased probability as opposed to a bull pennant, which is what's playing out on XRP at the minute. And again, they're strongly correlated. So XLM, XRP are both showing signs that we are going to break to the next leg up. Okay, I'm just going to scroll down for you guys. I don't know if I come across a particular chart. I can't find it right now, guys. Let me just have a scroll through. Just stay with me here. If I can't find it, waters above. I don't really give this guy any credit because he's all about astrology and that. And I do believe there's some sort of astrology in these sort of charts. The algorithms are based, for me, I don't know, it's debatable. Let me know in the comment section if you believe these algorithms are sort of tied in with astrology. You guys let me know what you think. But to a certain extent, I do agree with waters above on this particular chart, okay? However, I do believe it's slightly wrong in terms of where we are in this particular cycle. So you've got the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you've got that sort of fifth sort of consolidation, before we see that blast off to the upside, okay? Now, we've seen wave 5 here. So this is when we was at sort of US elections. We've got the breakout, and at the minute, we're about here. Yeah, and this is what he's suggesting here. Yeah, he's obviously planted this fractal in. But for me, he's actually marked out the chart that we're here. I don't believe we're going into this fifth wave now. So what I would suggest is, it's really difficult to highlight, so just follow this cursor here. As we go up, that's 1. And I'm talking about Elliott Wave now. So you get a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves. Okay. So you'd get your 1 here. This will be the top of the 1. You get the 2 down here. You get the 3 here. You get the prolonged 4. And then you get the 5th wave here. And he's actually marked that out as 1. Obviously, that starts a new sort of cycle then as we go into a bear market. For me, this has shot up to 1. This right here where we are now is 2 over on the XRP chart. So if we just go back over to the XRP chart, this is what I'm seeing, me personally. Okay, let me just delete that previous fractal. Let's delete that out of the way. So in terms of an Elliott Wave, we're not at where he's suggesting. So I would be looking at a sort of 1, a 2, and then we're going into the 3. Okay, so again, I'm just gonna have to plot these 5 wave counts just for illustration purposes. Yeah, so you get the 3, 4, and then the 5 later on. Again, illustration purposes. What I'm just looking to do, really, guys, is highlight to you guys that we're literally at the bottom of wave 2, beginning of wave 3. Now, wave 3 is going to be absolutely humongous, guys. I do believe wave 3 is going to go into sort of $27. Yeah, before we do see a pullback on wave 4. Now, wave 4 is probably going to do a sort of 50% of this sort of move upwards now. So if we get something along these lines here, up at around 27, I would imagine XRP does a massive pullback on wave 4, maybe sub $10 once we do surpass it. And then wave 5 will be absolutely extreme. You guys with the XRP plan will know what that figure comes out on, guys. But XRP for me is this wave 2, okay? Again, this is some other guys' chart. I can't forecast that, but like I say, we're here. So this is bottom of wave 2, which is what I've just been showing you guys. So there's no way we are here in terms of the previous cycle. We're just not, guys. Yeah, we're just not. We're not looking at this. This would be a fifth wave. This would be the fifth wave on what I'm illustrating. We're nowhere near the fifth wave. Yeah, that's just my opinion. Anyhow, let's dive over to XCN. Okay, so if we flick through now, we've got Z-Beck there. Let's have a look, scroll down to XCN as well, because a lot of people are worried about XCN. But listen, the technical analysis, I've not even had to update this chart because it's still playing out as, you know, as I sort of envision, where we've got the sort of US post-US election highs going into the end of 25. We come through to January of 25, and then that's when we shot up. Yeah, 16th of January is when we got moving, guys. So we've created a sort of first impulse, and this is it. XCN and XRP and XLM are all at the bottom of wave 2 now, which is why a lot of people are suffering in the markets. Yeah, I'm looking again, Fed meeting 18th of June. We're looking to get into that apex before the next move up. So I'm just going to do the Elliott Wave again. So we've got the 1. This is going to be a prolonged 2. So you can mark the 2 here. Yeah. Or what you could be inclined to do is, it doesn't matter. Wait, this is all wave 2. This bottom here and this here, this is all part of wave 2. Once we get the breakout here, this is then going to be wave 3. So this wave 3 is going to go all the way up, in my opinion, up to around that sort of 30 cent region. We'll probably see a pullback. Again, usually 50% of this sort of full wave 3, which again, we'll probably look at drawing in, and then wave 3 and 4. Right, get off. Something along those lines. Okay, guys. Now, let's just measure up, say, like 50% from this bottom here, up to sort of 30 cent where I'd envision it going. So you know what? It'll probably retrace from sort of 30 cent all the way back down to about 5 cent, in my opinion, XCN, which is why it's important to take profits at 30 cent. Once you're back in down here at sort of sub 8 cent, anywhere between 5 to 8 cent would be my re-entry at the bottom of this wave 4. And then wave 4 through to 5, this will absolutely melt faces, guys, and that'll be the end of the cycle. The blow off top, it'll go absolutely parabolic. There'll be no trading involved because it'll be just going up, 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 and it's like, where do I take profits? People will be slagging me off on this channel over technical analysis, over influencers over on X, because you know what? There'll be a lot of money left on the table because this thing will continue melting higher. People won't be happy at $1. You know, it'll probably go to $2 and $3, and people will be saying, why did you suggest taking profits at $1? It's at $2, $3. I could have got an extra 2, 3x out of my capital. This is the thing, guys. With blow off tops, they are risky, guys, but we will visit that sort of blow off top later on down the line, and I'd expect that to sort of happen end of year, around sort of October, November time, when sort of Bitcoin starts topping out, like Brad Golinos was suggesting, around 175, 180k region. Okay, guys. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure to drop us a like. Make sure you subscribe if you're not already, and I shall see you in the next video, guys. I've been the Block Bull. The Block Bull is over and out.